So I know I said my next video would be day 3, but this video is actually going to be a continuation of day 2. I didn't realize that I had recorded when I moved Momo from the big pen into the little pen. So you can see in the little pen right off the bat, we're getting better first touches. The smaller area just makes it a little bit easier to get close to them and makes him just a little bit more willing to come give me a sniff. And you can see that Momo is not super reactive to me jumping around trying to get him to move, so he's out of the corner so I can get to his head without getting too close to his hind end. I picked up the stick again so I can keep a little bit more distance between him and me, and it's always so frustrating when you're so close but you can't quite get a hand on the rope. And I do appreciate how brave he is. He's touching the stick super willingly with his little nose. It's just from getting the medicine in him yesterday, he's still a little bit leery of things necessarily going under his chin or around his mouth. Success. And now that I have the rope, I'm just gonna work for a second on giving it little tugs and getting him to move off the pressure of the halter a little bit. And now I'm gonna work on seeing if I can touch a little bit more of his body. He's being super brave touching my hand, and I'm getting some really big lick and chews after he bumps my hand with his nose. And I keep working, moving his feet a little bit, changing positions, and then going back to trying to get him to let me a little bit closer. I do like to hold the rope while I do this because I think that it gives me a little bit more time if I have some pressure on the halter to maybe get a little bit closer. But the main reason is because I think that it gives me a better chance of being able to keep their hind legs away from me. I do love how curious Momo is. He gives my elbow a little sniff. Momo's given me some pretty good nose touches, but I haven't really been able to touch him any further back with my hand. So I switched to the stick. The stick is nice because it itself has no energy, so the horses generally are a little bit more accepting of the stick if they're a little bit wary of your hand. You can see right off the bat he's not super worried about it touching his cheek. He's a little more suspicious of it touching his neck, but he's still very accepting of it. After I've touched him with it a few times, I can slide my hand down the middle of the stick, and you can see that he knows he's okay with the stick touching him, and my hand is a little bit closer to an area I have not been able to touch before, but because it's with the stick, he is more accepting of it. And you can see here, I use the same method, and this time when my hand is close to his cheek, I'm able to reach out and touch it. I use my hand and the stick simultaneously a few more times, and then you can see I start using my hand, and he's still a little suspicious, but he lets me do it. And he really is too precious. When I stop to give him a release and a little bit more space, he comes in again to say hello. And now I pick the stick up to see if I can touch a little bit further back on his body. It's important to do the same thing on each side of the horse. So now I'm trying to see if I can get some touches established on the right side of his body. Sometimes for Mustangs, they are a little bit harder on the right side because everything in the chutes and the stalks is usually done on the left side, so they're just a little more accustomed to seeing humans out of their left eye. I finish up this session with some more touching and some more use of the stick, and I'm really happy with how far I got with him today, so stay tuned for day 3.